And we're back a little bit later on day 25. So literally just after I finished recording, we spotted some Algerian ships moving into position, as well as this lovely big group here crossing the border over into Sweden's territory. Now at this point in time, we have a few options. Oh, actually, I mean, yeah, I take that back. We have a lot of options, but there's only really one thing I'm going to do. And that is, this main group here is actually a really strong and powerful group. However, it is largely infantry components. If we go on the defensive and we let it attack us, we will have the sheer advantage of being on defense. As we can see, infantry always does better on defense. As we can see, anti-tank always does better on defense. We'll send our artillery out the back, because as we can see, it doesn't do too well on defense. And we will also have our armor in there to beef us up a bit. So at this point the plan is we just want to find out where it's going. From here we think it's going to move down to here. That would be my guess, to be honest. Because I mean, if he wanted to head north, I probably would have attacked somewhere up here where I wouldn't have to have gone through all these mountains. So that's my thinking. Because I mean, going through all these mountainous regions down here is going to take time. And I suspect his plan is not to go the long way, and to make it as short as possible. So I suspect he's going to move down south and try and move into here, at which point I'll then send these troops down to here to reinforce. So actually at this point I will send everything except, the problem is there is enemy tactical bombers in the region, although there is no runways in range, so that works just fine for us. So what we're going to do is, because the tanks can get there super fast, we're going to send everything except the tanks down to here, to make sure they get there as quick as possible. They should be able to get there in a timely manner. Tanks, though, they won't take long to get there. So as we can see here, it's going to take them 3 hours to make it that far, but the tanks can get there in 2 hours. So bit of a difference there. So the tanks, they're going to just head up and they're going to scout, so we can figure out which way this is going. I've sent my aircraft I did have in the region down to this territory we control in Yugoslavia, because there is this unit off the coast and he may be scouting a potential landing zone up here, so I want some planes in the region to defend this area down here. I've also diverted this naval bomber back, which had been going to patrol down here, to patrol the coast and the area down here to make sure we don't get attacked. So that's what's happening at the moment. Now we're also a little suspicious about this here. This could be another convoy that is coming in to attack, but we just at this point we don't really know too much about what's happening, and we're just trying to gather as much as we can. If it turns out that this is another exposed convoy, which I think it very well could be, we'll be definitely keen to attack that as soon as possible. So instead of sending my aircraft down this way, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to order them down to here. And it's still faster to go that way though, that's odd. I would have thought it would be faster to go from here to here. Okay, they can't fly through this area here, which makes sense. So, that's what we're just doing at the moment. Hopefully, if these are some convoys, we can get some easy hits off at them. So, that's what's happening at the moment. We also suspect that Spain might try and attack at the same time, which, honestly, if he did, that would be very good for us. As we can see at the moment, Sweden is grouping up troops and making sure they're in very defendable positions. So, I'm not sure what he is doing at the moment. It might look as though he's retreating, drawing Spain in. I haven't seen this tactic done before, so that's what's happening at the moment. If Spain does try to attack, we are going to have this fleet in the area pretty soon, and it will be able to assist with firepower later on today. And that sort of firepower right there against enemy troops is going to be devastating. 3 times 3, that's 9 against armor, and then that as well. So it's at least 14 firepower and 14 damage per hour. Oh shit, where did I have this heading? It was heading over to there, I believe. I think that's about right. In range of the... yeah, there we go. So I'll be back a little bit later on, and I might actually do some recording on my phone for this one. We'll see how we get on. If not much happens, there won't be much recording, but if heaps happens and things really start to explode and mess up, we will, yeah, it'll probably be a bit more. So might see you later, might not. Okay, so I am back a little bit later on, and the rest of the audio for this video is recorded in post. Now there is over like an hour's worth of footage here that I've literally condensed down to like 2 minutes, so I'm actually going to post a link to that in the comments below if you want to see the full raw 1 hour
part of this video. I couldn't narrate all of it. So basically what I sped up is just this little bit of air combat with Spain. So Spain sent 18 aircraft to attack 4 of Sweden's, I believe, units. And as we can see here, I've set up my aircraft to defend over the region. Now they're only just slightly defending on it, but they will still do defensive damage. So I believe what happened there with that split was Spain was intending to attack my aircraft with his, and when he split, he encountered that split glitch, which at least the moderators recommend and believe is a feature, which I don't know how it's a feature, but it apparently is to them. So his bombs attacked, and with the strength of the unit on the ground there and my interceptors, we were able to take out 2 tactical bombers. And this is how we counterattack right here. So as you can see, I've set up my tactical bombers to immediately attack the enemy tactical bombers. Now this is just to make sure they're heading in the right direction. The main target is actually going to be Paris itself. We want to hit the tactical bombers when they've landed with our own tactical bombers. We've also set our own interceptors up to chase them down, and they'll be there to provide air support if we need it. But if all of our tactical bombers hit, this shouldn't be an issue. As we can see here a little bit later on, I've actually sent my aircraft to patrol. Now that they're above Paris, I need to patrol to make sure that all of a sudden there isn't 100 anti-air guns or 100 interceptors sitting on the runway ready to kill me. So I've set up my aircraft, my tactical bomber, and as we can see there's nothing there. So it's now going in for the kill. 8 tactical bombers. My interceptors, they're just going to follow in behind, and they're going to be used to just protect it on the way back. The interceptors aren't on the ground. So any second now, the planes go in, they do successfully kill it. So that is basically 10 interceptors, or 10 enemy tactical bombers destroyed without any losses. So at this point, my interceptors will follow back and patrol over them to make sure they don't get destroyed. So let's jump ahead a bit further. So at this point in the game, we've just taken out the majority of the Spanish Air Force. However, things are far from over. The Spanish army is still quite large, quite numerous, and it's inflicted massive casualties on Sweden's army. However, due to the fact we were able to take out most of Spain's tactical bombers, Sweden stood a very good chance here. Sweden did not have much anti-air, and just like Spain, he was pretty weak to the air as well. So getting those tactical bombers out of the sky was a great accomplishment. Now, for Spain here, he could have pushed and made it a lot further if his units had anti-air. As we can see, both me and Sweden have tactical bombers out patrolling, and as you can see here, I'm trying to get my other aircraft back across to assist as much as possible. Sadly, my tactical bombers are the only ones that can make the jump across the English Channel. My interceptors at the moment are going to have to fly to my carriers, which will then have to travel to in range to then dismount and get across. So the defeat of the Spanish Air Force is really what sped up this battle. He had plenty of troops, and he had thrown them at the Swedish border, and that had dealt a lot of damage. Combined with the artillery he had in behind, they were able to pick off quite a lot of troops. But Spain at that point, it was just simply, too little too late. His artillery didn't have any anti-air protection, so as soon as he opened fire, it was pretty much revealed, and we could send in our tactical bombers to destroy it. So if we have a look at the casualties at this point, as we can see, we have only lost 500 troops to his 21,000, and we haven't actually lost a full unit yet. We've lost troops within a unit, within a tactical bombers unit, so we've lost a few planes, but all of our units are still at a decent combat strength. So far in this war, we've actually done pretty well, and we've been able to inflict all of those casualties by just picking off unprotected units. And that just goes to show how important some anti-air protection is. Spain still has some aircraft, but at this point he spent most of his interceptors trying to shoot down Swedish aircraft. So this is pretty much where the fighting kind of ends. Now at this point, Spain had thrown all of his troops at our defenses and had taken major casualties, saying that he had destroyed a lot of Swedish troops. However, we simply dealt more damage than he did, and considering we have air superiority, as we can see here, my tactical bombers and interceptors are still out patrolling and wearing down his troops even more. In fact, my battleships are even getting in on the action. If we have a look in updated casualty count, we can see that we've just increased our lead. Now in the coming days, Spain tries to put up a defense in the north, in his northern territories between France and Spain on that border and the choke point, but he just can't muster enough troops, especially with our ships heading down to bomb it out. He just doesn't really stand much of a chance. He should have taken our deal that we offered him earlier. So I'm going to remind you guys that I am going to post and upload the raw footage from this episode on YouTube, so there'll probably be about an hour's worth of footage. Now, I have cut parts out of the other videos, but it's just a slowed down version, so you can see everything that I pretty much do. So if you want to check that out, there'll be a link in the description, and that link will be the only way you can actually access the video. I'm not going to monetize it. Actually, maybe I should monetize it, because it's like an hour's worth. In over an hour, how many ads can fit into it? I don't know. I'll see how I feel when I come to it. But thank you for watching. If you want to see a bit more slowed down version, check out the out-on footage. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.